Let me see. Okay. Here's Stream here again, and this one is gonna be with Shanks and Luffy, part 11. And basically, let's look off with like Luffy meeting Brook and him accepting Luffy accepted Brook onto the crew for his immense amount of hockey. So, yeah. And after that, Brook ends up just attempting to be on the crew, and they're actually in the dining room. And that's what you point out. Brook doesn't have a shadow, and what was it? So we'll point out Brook doesn't have a shadow, and Brook will start saying, "Yes, there's a man named Confronting Moria. He took my shadow." And this one, if you will say, "Oh, that bastard Moria, I fought him before. He tried to fight the Whitebeard pirates. So I ended up, if you will say, not the Whitebeard pirates. He tried to fight them, but you know, I kind of ended up winning. So yeah." Yeah. Once, like, Brook heard that Luffy had fought Moria, he's asking how Luffy got out alive. And Luffy would say, "Well, I beat him in the submission." And then Brook would actually be impressed, because Moria is a hard guy to fight. We all know this. Because, remember, Moria's a warlord. So, yeah. He'd be a pretty hard character to fight. Moria would be very hard. And after that, I guess, Luffy would actually ask how Brook got to the Florian Triangle. Well, since he knows the weakness of the Devil Fruits, he says Moria, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to say that Luffy had his shadow stolen by Moria at one point. So, yeah. Luffy ended up asking Brook how he got to Florian Triangle, because last time Luffy saw Moria was in the West Blues, so that's where the little bark came from. So yeah. Luffy ended up asking Brook how, and then asking Brook would say, "Moria came to the Florian Triangle, where I was here first. And I found a barrel, I opened it, a flare came out, and I ended up being seen by Moria because of that." So, yeah. Moria ended up, I guess, doing like the Brook Shadow. He will be surprised. Well, he hasn't seen Moria in a long time. He hasn't seen Moria in a very long time. That's when he says he wants to go fight Moria again. He had a good fight last time. And last time we saw Moria wasn't a warlord. I'm pretty sure Moria was like one of the more recent warlords. So yeah. Alright, we're gonna go when Luffy gets to Pillar Bark. Luffy gets there, and Luffy gets there. He ends up meeting with like those zombies, and he used Conqueror's Hug to just knock them out. And he forgot Moria can make zombies. He forgot that. And that's when he found out that, like, you know, these zombies have shadows. And you guys are screaming, I'm sorry. I'm watching TV still. We found out that Moria can make the zombies. He's surprised, and we need Conqueror's Hug to knock them out. And shadows came out. That's when Luffy together. Moria's crewmate was a doctor. And he is probably putting together a patchwork zombies of strong fighters that they've met. And after that, like Luffy was like any zombie we encounter, try to destroy it, so the shadow will come out. So, yeah. And the sharks get that they need to annihilate the zombies to win against them. So yeah. The sharks end up separating into 3 groups. So 2 groups actually. So there's 2 groups, and Brook wanted to go by himself, but he's involved with Luffy's group instead. So there's Sanji, Nami, and Usopp. Sanji, Nami, Usopp, and Chopper in one group. And this is when that we find out that there's, Frankie, Luffy, Robin, and Zoro in one group. Brook isn't in Luffy's group since he knows that Luffy's gonna fight Moria. And Luffy does go fight Moria, but not yet. Any zombie that the sharks come across, they end up fighting. And Ismail, I'm pretty sure that's the invisible guy's name, ends up hurting on Nami, but they sent him on the ship, so Nami just stayed away from what she was doing. Like, she'd shower so the guy wouldn't perv on her, she didn't use the bathroom, she was just cool. And Sanji wasn't using observation, but Nami was. She can sense he's following them. And Joe's hints to Sanji to use his observation. And Joe will do that, and he senses the guy instantly. And he can just sense what the guy's doing. He's just stalking Nami. And the guy he's right next to Sanji, because he's planning on killing Sanji to get rid of him. And he just sees Sanji put on an angry face and just look at the guy instantly. I was like, wait, what? He can see me? I'm just gonna legit use his hands and grab the guy by the neck. And say, you don't perv on Nami, son, as he just throws the guy across the woods and he starts kicking him. Lola's shadow / hippo will come running at Sanji because she was looking for Invisible Man. And Nami will appear with like Usopp and Chopper and just beat it. Nami's gonna use Plum Attack and just stab it inside as she uses a lightning bolt. He's gonna shoot the hippo in half. And that's when Chopper will just use his jumping point, infuse with hockey, and land on it. Which is gonna, I'm pretty sure that it would actually just destroy one of the halves. So he destroyed the lower half of it. And that's when Usopp just used Fire Star and incinerated the zombie. So yeah, then the Lola's shadow came back. A lot of Lola's crewmates are actually getting the shadows back. Because they're confused. And some of them are like running away, they see the Straw Hat ship. When Lola gets her shadow back, they run. And she sees the ship as well. And I'm gonna say that Luffy's fighting like a lot of zombies still, and he's just using Conquerors on it. And this is when Brook will activate Conquerors. Guess when I'm giving him Conquerors? I'm giving him Conquerors to my favorite Straw Hats. Brook is my all-time favorite Straw Hat. I don't know why, but he is. It's his laugh. I love Brook's laugh. That's why he's my favorite. So yeah. Luffy ended up using Conquerors, and it knocked out a lot of the zombies. By the time Luffy gets to the doctor's office, he ends up knocking out enough zombies to the point where they're all Lola's crew members. Lola's crew ends up running to where they see the ship. They think about stealing it. Lola's there, and the moment she sees who the flag belongs to, she says, "Don't you dare touch the ship." And they're like, "Why, Lola? We're pirates. The ship isn't occupied. We should just take it." He says, "The ship belongs to probably one of the most infamous pirates to ever exist." And that's true. Luffy is probably one of the most infamous pirates to ever exist. Like, the world government knows how strong he is, and they fear it. So yeah, they're like, hey, it doesn't matter. He's not here. Let's take the ship. Like, no. If we take this, 2 Yonkos will be on our ass, and we don't want that. Like, wait, 2? Who? She says Whitebeard and Shanks. They're like, oh, those guys. Yeah, let's not take it. Not at all. Don't. And so when she actually points out, and we're probably gonna have like 2 other big pirates on our ass too, like Fire Fist Ace and the Sky King Sabo. and they are even more scared because there's two other guys that are Yonko level. So I'm gonna give like Luffy a bounty, not Luffy, Ace and Sabo a bounty increase. Their bounties are now, Ace has a bounty of 2.3 billion. Sabo has a bounty of 1.8 billion. So they're already Yonkos now. And Whitebeard, Ace knows he's still in the Whitebeard Pirates, but people are a little scared since, you know, Ace is a Yonko with a Yonko. So yeah. So Ace and Sabo, they're like, Sabo is Ace's Sabo's captain. The Whitebeard has two other Yonko on his crew. So yeah. So right now they count that Ace is like the 5th Emperor instead of Luffy right now. But when Luffy joins the Yonko later, he's gonna be the 6th Emperor. Alright, we're gonna go to Luffy. He told his crew, ends up she's like, yeah, we don't want Luffy's crew and the Yonko on us, so we're gonna leave the ship alone. Doesn't she suggest we help the Srats fight? As in her crew was split in half, and some Bolo will go after Luffy. And she's gonna go in the direction her shadow came from, so she's gonna go towards Sanji's group. And the other guys will go towards where their shadows came from. So yeah. So they go toward, like, half go with Lola, half go towards Luffy. The half that gets to Luffy, they tell them that, you know, their shadows are from him. They're like, oh, cool. Luffy's like, okay, cool. Help me fight. There, we plan to. And this is when Luffy actually finds the Doctor. And he thinks the Doctor is too weak to fight. And his assistant, the zombie assistant, will rush at Luffy. He's just going to use Conquerors and knock it out. He says, this is the most I've ever had to use Conquerors. Yes, he's already like taking down like two pirate ships worth of zombies. And once he sees his assistant is down and the shadow leaves the body, he's just upset. He's like, how many zombies have you ran into? Luffy says, probably enough to fill two whole pirate ships. Then that makes the Doctor just shiver. He's like, a lot of my zombies are gone. He says, yeah, even the trees, the flowers, the animals, a lot of the shadows are gone. And that's when the Doctor's like, damn. And Frankie will just say, I kind of like your idea of bringing the dead back to life, but it's inhumane. And he just rockets behind the Doctor and just uses like the Frankie burst and just blows the Doctor in pieces with the wind. Frankie just blows up the Doctor. So yeah, there's blood, organs everywhere. And Luffy just used invisible ornament, so they just create to make sure no blood gets on anyone near him. And he says, Frankie, that was very brutal. And he says, I didn't think that through very well. He says, I know you didn't. As he points to the shower and says, go in there, we'll wait. So they're in there, and Luffy's just knocking out the zombies that come in. So yeah. When you go to, like, Sanji's group versus Perona and the invisible guy's dead. I'm gonna say that, like, Sanji killed him. I'm gonna say that Sanji used the Jambe and kind of kicked him in half. Usopp versus Perona. The people are being shut down by negative ghosts, and that's when Usopp is actually being very cautious and coats his whole body in iron body, or invisible armament hockey. His whole body. The zombies can't go through him, and he says, even if they do go through me, it's not going to work. I'm probably the most negative person in history. As he just like starts hitting the zombies, since he's infusing his whole body with armament. Perona will try to rush at him herself, and Usopp is going to use Kabuto as like a staff, and just hit her in the gut with it, knocking her out. And that's when all the ghosts disperse, and Sanji's just got released from being negative, and he gets up and just lights his light on fire, saying, alright, these zombies are annoying, as he just goes around kicking all of them. Ami will use her climb attack and incinerate all of them with lightning. So yeah. Her giant stuffed teddy bear tries to run away, but that's when we'll just use Firestar and hit it in the back. And it's blue flames, so don't forget this. It just bursts in flames. It's a teddy bear, so it's not gonna last long in Blue Flame. It's done for. It's just a bunch of fluff. Alright. Luffy versus let me say that we're gonna fast forward that they all beat the zombies that came their way. All the shadows are back. Not all of them, some of them. Now they go inside their house. And Luffy gave them all a warning on the shadows. And he even said the paintings aren't like anything with stitches in this house, like anything that's like a painting or an animal with stitches, it is going to try to kill you. But one like Sanji gets into the house, they're like, alright, stay away from the paintings. And looks like we'll just use Kabuto and actually just incinerate the whole room. And Sanji will use Double Jambe and just kick. Oh, like he's not gonna use Double Jambe. He's just gonna create shockwaves with his kicks, getting the flames away from them. And they see the paintings are like just crying in pain, and they're like, "Oh, Luffy was right. These paintings are real." That's when one painting will try to rush at them, and Chopper, without even hesitating, is gonna just run in his buff form and just crush its head. So the painting is done for. It leaves its body, and it turns out there's like 3 Lola's crewmates that don't have a shadow, and that was one of the shadows. Luffy's crew's in the house as well. Luffy just used Conquerors and everything, so it's knocked out. The shadow leaves. So yeah. Now it's when Luffy gets to Moria. So Moria isn't getting news that that anything's going on. You should always see the lost contact with like, the invisible guy, Perona, and the doctor. Yeah, like he knows there's a fight going on, he just doesn't know who it's with, so he thinks he's winning. And the rats that give him news, Luffy beat them already. So yeah. That's when they see that Frankie just came and just punched a hole through the house and landed next to the Straw Hats. So yeah. He's like, hey, I'm here, we're cool. So yeah, sorry about that. Luffy ended up going to the house. Frankie jumped through the wall, and that's when they actually encountered the giant spider because they were crossing the bridge. And Frankie, no, even have to say, don't remember. Frankie's upgrades are that of Post-Timeskip. All the Straw Hats before this time skip can already beat the Post-Timeskip Straw Hats in canon. So I'll do like a shameless plug, I guess. Go watch my What If Luffy Will Win Marine. That series is really good to me. Also, that series is already farther than mine. So I lived in this one. So yeah, in 2 parts. So Luffy ended up finding Moria after Frankie just kind of blew up the giant spider. But he just beat it to death. Then there's a horde of zombies. And this time Zoro just says, let me handle this. As he uses Purgatory Onigiri and cut them into pieces. So all the shadows leave their body. So you guys haven't heard Zoro's Conqueror's Haki, Robin has Conqueror's Haki. Yeah. Zoro used Purgatory Onigiri, which is just he puts his whole body in Haki. As he just slices through the zombies. And then he can use it with Conqueror's Haki instead. Each time he slices a zombie, Conqueror's Haki is released, which knocks out a lot of the zombies. Another horde comes by, and Robin will use Clutch. But this one uses Conqueror's Haki, and zombie. This one Brook actually finds his shadow. So they picked up like the technique of invisible Haki a little bit, just from watching. Sure to infuse like black Haki, but he couldn't do it. You could infuse, regular old shadow. This one, she's sweet in the air, and just cut his zombie in half, and the shadow comes out. Last words his shadow said were actually like before like Brook put his shadow in half. Shadow like trash talking Brook. That's when like he realized Brook is using hot. I'm using the shadow point. This is not really. And that's when he says, so you can find me impressive. But there's one thing. If you do beat me, give this blade to the green-haired swordsman. And that's because Zoro's like fighting, and one of his blades is actually starting to crack. And he already turned Queen sword into a black blade. Pretty sure Yubashiri's the only one that isn't a black blade, and Yubashiri's the one that's starting to crack. And Yubashiri isn't the cursed one, I'm pretty sure. This one's Zoro rush at someone, and just like he's gonna cut through the zombie. But another zombie will come by, and it actually can use swordsmanship pretty well. Or it's a very good swordsman. He'll rush down at Zoro with two swords and just like slash through Yubashiri. Zo's gonna be kind of scared because Yubashiri just got shattered. So he can be a little upset. He's gonna use Queen sword. Like he's gonna take it out of his mouth and use Queen sword. And he's gonna use like 36-pound Phoenix. And it annihilates the zombie. There's not even remains of it. He destroys the zombie, and the zombie shadow leaves, and then Brook kills his shadow zombie, and he throws that sword at Zoro. Zoro will catch it and say, "Black blade," and put it in its sheath because he puts all the swords back in his sheath. Now Kitetsu the third is a cursed blade, but not a black blade. Zoro has two black blades with him. So yeah. Happens, and they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave with the area they're in, and Brook probably has a shadow back. If I could bend down and hug my shadow, I would. And this one he says, "You shouldn't even have shadow right now. You're dead." And if that doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. It's me either. Yeah. There's one I didn't script it. This is going off the top of my head. So Luffy ended up using his Doctor's Hockey and observation hockey and found where Moria is. Like he's punched through the ceiling and found where Moria is. He knew where Moria was because of observation. He just made a hole through the ceiling and grabbed onto like the old floor where Moria was in. And came there. There was Straw Hat and Brook followed, and they all got ready to fight. Then they see like a giant horde of zombies come flying through another wall, and that's where Sanji is. And as when they see that Lola's there, and Lola proposed to like Usopp. She didn't propose to Chopper, she proposed to Usopp and Sanji. They said no, of course. Then she sees Luffy and proposes to him. He said no. He proposed to Zoro. He said no. He proposed to Brook. He said no. Pretty much she proposed to someone else more. Dropping her crew. To him. So Zoro ended up actually running towards Moria first. Moria's like, my shadow can deal with you. And so Moria thinks the shadow can't deal with Zoro. Like the shadow will try to pierce Zoro, but it's not gonna work. Zoro's gonna use two of his black blades and just slice up the shadow. So you get put the black blade away, black blades away, just pluck to the third. Saying, alright, it's time for this sword to earn its stripes. As the rest of Moria, he starts fighting him on even terms. And right now, I say that Moria can use hockey. So yeah, Moria starts using hockey, just defending at Zoro. But this is when people just jump at Moria and say, remember me? as he just decks Moria and sends Moria flying. Moria's been punched by Luffy. So he remembers exactly how that punch felt before when he first met Luffy. He gets up and says, "No, not you." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's me." As he puts his fists together and he says, "Ready?" And then we just go for a second. And he's gonna go Gear 4th because he hates Moria. He's gonna go Gear 4th and this is Bounce Man. What are you using? Stoffy? He's gonna use Bounce Man. Some people are gonna laugh and just calm down and like, yeah, we're ready. Zoro's gonna get ready to use Predatory on Giri since that's his strongest move. Robin's gonna get ready to use like 13 giant fists and use a purple hockey. He's gonna use his blue Diablo Jambe, which is an ultimate move he just unlocked. Like it's Diablo Jambe, but it's blue now. And his foot is infused with hockey that's orange. Now he's gonna use like her counter attack, and it's gonna be a very accurate shot. And it's just lightning, so yeah. It's gonna be like she's gonna use lightning balls against it. And it's gonna be Moria. And Moria just actually uses a shadow with Oars. We're hopping with Oars and do the whole thing. Chopper, he's actually gonna go into Monster Point. And he can control it this time because of his hockey. And yeah. He's gonna go and do this like a semi-cyborg form. Don't say he can actually transform into a cyborg because he has the parts inside his body. So he did that. And then Brook will actually, without even like he's gonna try to like use as much hockey as he can. He's gonna tell us how blade and like do the unsheathing from how anime characters do it. And there's just an immense amount of hockey coming off him, and he just uses Conquerors for the first time. And Luffy's surprised and said, "I do not sense Conquerors in you." And a lot of Lola's crew, when he starts falling to their knees, just because he wasn't his power. He says, "Don't leave me out of this." And he says, "I plan to." He just jumps at Moria and just like gives him King Kong organ. And Oars gets like flying out of the building. He lands on his feet, tries to punch Zoro. Zoro rushing at him. Zoro just slices up his arm, and that's Predatory Onigiri done for. Luffy does use King Kong organ on him though, but used all his energy on that one. And then Nami will use her thunderballs, and it's gonna just strike Moria multiple times, or Oars, and destroy him. Not destroy Moria, Oars completely, but it's gonna just stop some of his functions for a little bit. And then Robin's gonna come up, use her giant arms, and actually just cave in some of Oars' basic functions, like where Moria is. She's gonna cave that in, so it's gonna be very hard to control Oars. Excuse me. Jambe actually take off one of Oars' legs. So Oars is only one leg and one armed. So he's gonna use his monster point and infuse his arms with black hockey and rip off Oars' other arm. And he's gonna use his cyborg form actually real fluid. He's gonna use that like air pressure burst thing again, and actually blow off Oars' other leg. I'm gonna use him to blow off half of Oars' head. So Oars can still move and function because of Moria, but it's gonna be very hard to still. So yeah. And they actually like Brook to the finishing move. And first who's up now? Brook's gonna use, I'm gonna say he uses like his green star that he does against like Douglas Bullet and Stampede. Tears off one of Bullet's arms. And he's gonna Kaiju form, whatever it's called. So he uses that and it tears off Oars' his other giant arm. Because Oars is kind of just hanging on by one arm right now. So really use that and tears off Oars' arm. We'll let Brook have a finishing move and he'll just gonna rush at Moria. Slash. Or black notch slash. As everything around Moria just turns black and Oars is fully cut up. Like there's not a shred of Oars left. He's gonna laugh and say, "Perfect." As he's just painting and sweating. He's not in his Gear 4th form anymore. He can walk, but he can't use the boat for about 10 minutes. So yeah. After that, everyone leaves. Oh, we'll try to propose to Luffy one more time though. But of course he says no. And, everyone leaves. After the arc. I'm pretty sure the next arc is actually Sabaody Archipelago. Before they meet the guy that Sanji, his wanted poster is still a drawing though. But they meet the guy that looks like Sanji, his wanted poster. They meet him, Sanji kicks his face pretty. Then they go to Sabaody Archipelago. That happens and the whole thing goes down. This time Perona knows what they are. They run into the Celestial Dragon and Kami though. Well, first alright, we're gonna go back for the time Sanji kicks the guy's face pretty. The Straw Hats meet the giant Sea King / Rabbit. Luffy's just gonna use Jet Pistol and just ram his fist into it, sending it flying, but Kami and her starfish are puked up. As they're talking, they go after Hachi. And Luffy knows he needs to rescue Hachi. They don't hesitate, they rescue him. Some kicks the guy's face pretty. They do that, and after that, oh yeah, the guy that somebody kicked was named Duval. Duval gets kicked pretty, and so we have Sabaody. Everyone knows what they are, and Luffy doesn't need it chip coded because he doesn't have that right now. And Frankie doesn't have the right tools to do it. So if Rayleigh isn't there, they need to buy the proper tools to code the ship. Luffy walks into a bar, or Shaki's bar. Luffy knows who Shaki is, by the way. He's been to Sabaody before, because Rayleigh trained Luffy in hockey for a little bit. He walks into the bar, he sees that Shaki's beating up someone. When Shaki is done, the guy tries to get back up, but Zoro's going to throw his sword and just hit the guy in the chest, and then kills the guy. Then he's surprised. He doesn't choose him to look at Zoro. Oh, and Luffy. She's like, oh, Luffy, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? And he's like, hey, Auntie, I'm doing good. And Sanji's like, who's this? And he starts hitting on her. Sanji, he's gonna say, Sanji, I wouldn't recommend that. She's over 60, and everyone's jaw's gonna drop. And so you guys don't know, Shaki is over 60. She's Rayleigh's age. She's Rayleigh's age, but just looks very young. She's pulling a Tsunade. So yeah. She's not using jutsu. I don't know what she's using. Alright, so yeah. So Luffy ended up, I guess, Sanji just gave up. He gave all of humanity. So that happened. They're gonna hang out for a little bit. He's gonna wait for Rayleigh to come back until he just sends Frankie to go buy some stuff. That's when Luffy actually go to the part of the Sabaody where his kid is, or where Bonney is. Luffy walks into the bar, and also Luffy got a bounty increase because of him defeating Moria. Pretty sure Moria's bounty is like 321 million, but it was frozen. So Luffy's old bounty was 540 million in the last part, I believe, because he beat up Crocodile. Now Luffy's bounty is around, I would say, 661 million. He walks into the restaurant that everyone is in, and everyone just freezes. Look at Luffy. Luffy looks like them saying, what the hell's wrong with you guys? And he's not wearing a shirt or anything, he's wearing shorts, a straw hat, and that's it. He's wearing sandals as well, but that's it. Shorts, sandals, straw hat. And Zoro walks in behind him and says, Captain, can we get moving? And everyone's surprised that the whole Straw Hat crew is there. Looks like Frankie, but yeah. So Straw Hats all have bounty increases. Luffy has a bounty of 660 million now. Zoro, his bounty goes up to 400 million. First Robin before those two. Zoro, 300 million. Zoro's bounty is 300 million, I'm pretty sure. So his bounty is now 400 million. Robin, her bounty is now 330 million. Usopp and Sanji, their bounty Sanji bounty goes higher than Usopp's. Usopp's bounty is now, I'm gonna say 289 million. While Sanji's bounty goes up to 300 million. That kind of hurts Usopp and a little bit of Sanji, since they've always had the same bounty, and that kind of broke it up. And Sanji actually just hugged Usopp and said, "Hey, don't worry, you'll always be 300 million in my heart." Kind of made it Usopp feel a little better. Nami, her bounty goes up to 200 million. Chopper, his bounty goes up to, I'm saying because of like Moria saying that they had a pet that turned into a giant monster and battled Oars. His bounty went up straight up to 100 million. Chopper was running around crawling and clapping. So yeah. Now, Brook. That was the main thing that Moria reported to the Marines, that there was a skeleton that chopped up Oars. That actually gave Brook the bounty of, I'm gonna say, 190 million. 200 million said screw it. Brook's unhappy that's the highest bounty he's ever had. And then, I'm gonna move on to Brook's Frankie. His bounty is gonna be, I'm gonna say, 290 million. 1 million higher than Usopp. So yeah. That happened. The whole Shark crew's there except Frankie. And they're surprised. Like, Luffy sits down, because you don't want to table and says, "Man, you made everything you got." And they bring out all the food. By the way, Luffy has like, I would say, 20 billion berries on his ship. So he brought around 100 million with them. Luffy's meal cost 80 million berries. The restaurant workers are like, this means the pirate probably can't pay that much. He pays them more than they needed. Like, whoa. And Luffy and his crew eat their hearts content. That's when Bonney will walk up and say, "Hey, you guys mind if we sit with you?" And Luffy, just because Bonney looks pretty cute to him, he's gonna allow it. And they're still eating like a bunch of savages. AJ will walk over and actually just open up his chest to see that there's a bunch of like, Luffy will be confused. I mean, this means these guys pointing guns. And basically doesn't know Luffy's bounty. And what he does, he's another spoiled brat. He says, "Alright, you brat." Basically says, "Alright, you brats. You're eating like a bunch of savages, and you like normal human beings." Basically said, "You're pretty much AJ." Let's say some arguing with Red Hockey and just punches AJ on the chest. Sending him flying. These guys will try to fight Luffy. That's when, Robin will just say clutch and snap all their necks. And that's the shock on that their whole group is going fast. And can't stay too long, especially my group, because they heard crashing and they heard a guy scream. We go upstairs and they see that Luffy and his whole crew are there with Bonnie's crew eating together. They'll laugh and say, "Oi, Luffy." And he's gonna be like, "Huh?" He's gonna see a kid. He said, "Oh, Eustace, how's it going?" And he actually joins in with the kid. Then Apu's gonna be like, "Yo, who are you guys?" He was like, "I'm gonna give you Luffy." Or, "As you mean, let me try that, Luffy." I have the highest bounty of all the Supernovas. Well, he's not considered a supernova right now, since he started before that. Luffy considers himself a supernova. Starts to Apu's and like, "I see." And that's when he says, "Well, Apu, my henchman actually, I'm not a supernova myself. I consider myself one, but I'm not. But my henchman here is a supernova, and he has the highest bounty." And Zoro will say, "Yeah, 400 million. That shocks Eustace." And he's like, "Oh, like, your henchman has the highest bounty of all supernovas?" He says, "Yeah." And that's when Zoro will say, "Apu, you got a problem?" Because Apu's just kind of angry that some henchman isn't even like the captain and has the highest bounty of all the supernovas. Then he asks why Luffy isn't a supernova. I started a few years earlier than most of you. Because right now, my bounty sits at 661 million. But I started when I was around 10, and I went with red-haired shanks. Luffy. I said Luffy started at around like age 10, and right now Luffy started around like age 8. So yeah. Luffy just started his own pirate crew at age 17. That's it. They're like, whoa, you're pretty young for being a pirate. He says, oh no, half my bounty was because of the people I hung around, which was red-haired Shanks and Whitebeard. And also my brothers are, you know, big deals. But we're brothers. He says, oh yeah, Fire Fist Ace and Sky King Sabo. Her jaw's gonna drop. Anyway, her brothers with the 5th Emperor? He's like, huh? He's like, wait, you don't know your brother's the 5th Emperor? He's gonna say, Ace or Sabo? And that's when Yusuf was like, hey, Sabo, he almost killed Blackbeard, not Whitebeard. He was like, yeah. Oh yeah, Blackbeard's already dead, I forgot. Yeah, I'm gonna say that he actually was fighting with, I'm saying he was fighting with the Kainu at this time. If you guys don't know, Magma is hotter, not Magma. Fire is hotter than Magma sometimes. And Ace was fighting a Kainu at one point because a Kainu ambushed him. And Ace actually almost killed a Kainu. That's an Admiral level feat, so they boosted his power to, you know, a Yonko level. Now he's 5th Emperor. He says, damn, Ace, you beat me. In case he's like, oh, well, of course he beat you. His bounty was already a lot higher. So that's when he said, doesn't matter, I'm stronger. I shocked everyone. He's like, I go off the grid for 2 years, and my bounty is stuck at 300 million. Like, you know, grid and your bounty's already at 300 million. He says, if I wanted to, my bounty could be at 1 billion. Then, you see that Sanji isn't with them as well, because he was with Kami, and Nami was with Kami. Right now, it's just like, you know, Usopp, Brook, Chopper, Robin, Zoro, Luffy. And I'm saying that guys are being a lot more careful to abduct Kami. And Tonto's like sort of kicked down the wall next to Luffy and said, Luffy, Kami's been kidnapped. And the starfish is just crying on Luffy's shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my crewmates. I was using tell Robin to pay the guy. I was gonna hand the guy around, I'm gonna say 20 million berries, so that's enough to repair the wall. And that also paid for the other Supernovas food. So yeah. I was like, alright, thank you. And Luffy leaves. He instantly knows where Kami is, but it's gonna take too long for them to get there. Then he ends up just finding Duval's guys and they give him rides. They crash in, and the law is there. And Kid already left because Sanji crashed in. Actually, Kid left like 5 minutes before Sanji crashed in. So he sees that Kid is there, and he sees that Law is there. And Luffy has billions of berries, more than the Celestial Dragons brought with them. They brought like 5 billion berries. Luffy brought 20 billion. The Celestial Dragon says, "I bid 5 billion berries on the mermaid." He says, "All right, I win 10 billion." And Luffy wins. He gets Kami. And when Luffy comes down to get the mermaid, the Celestial Dragon says, "I'm not like some damn pirate. Get the mermaid. I want her. I'm taking her from you." He says, "What do you think you can take my best friend from me? I'm gonna kill you." That shocked everyone. That's already like 100 million berry increase from Luffy. Because he threatened the Celestial Dragon. He says, "You dare?" And he says, "Oh, I'll do it." And he just goes his arm and armament hockey. Then he activates Gear Second. The Celestial Bodyguards get him. And without even thinking, Zoro would just kill all of the guards, saying, "Too weak." Then his dad's guards will rush at Zoro. Robin's gonna yell clutch and snap all their necks. But let's say he just got back, and his sister guards will come. Range's gonna use the air pressure burst thing and just send them all flying. And say, "Sorry, I'm late." And that's when the Dragon's like, "Damn it!" And first part Charles will rush at Luffy. When they're done, use a hockey. Say Hachi doesn't know Luffy's devil fruit abilities to their full extent, but he doesn't know Luffy's strong, but he doesn't think Luffy can tank this. He gets shot with hockey in the shoulder. Luffy just is raging. He used conquerors and knocked out everyone in there except like the Law and everyone. That's the dragon, of course. And Luffy would just grab Charlos and start strangling him. Bonney will rush in and just grab Luffy, saying, don't kill him, he's not worth it. Luffy says, I know that's worth it. I just pulls his foot in army hockey and steps on Charlos' face. Almost kills him. But Charlos' face isn't stomped pretty like Duval's was. It's stomped uglier times 10. Charlos' dad will try to shoot Luffy. Luffy's just gonna dodge it. I think it's time for my bounty increase as he just jumps down and punches Charles' dad into the ground, saying, guess that makes me the second highest bounty supernova. When Zoro's gonna say, in your dreams, as he throws a sword and it hits Charles' sister right in the shoulder. And she's just too much in shock that she shoots at Zoro. But now she's like, alright, damn it. Kill the mermaid. If he would just use Conqueror's Hockey and disable the bomb. So yeah. Then he's gonna jump at the announcers and just actually kill them both. And say, alright, who's not break the glass? Because Luffy just don't want to punch the glass, it's gonna hurt, they're sharp. And he thinks the ornament might go overboard and hurt Kami, so yeah. He's gotta establish the glass with a lead ball, and Luffy's gonna grab Kami. That's when he's like, oh, I said that, this seems very familiar. As he punches a hole through the wall. Boom, like every slave is behind, and he says, old man Rayleigh. The wall crumbles. Luffy's like, oh, Rayleigh, how's it going? I was looking for you. So Luffy's looking how he does in the picture, just minus the scar. So yeah. Rayleigh's gonna say, oh, Luffy, it's been a while. I'm doing good, how are you? And I really like Noble that was in there waking up, and they're actually about to fire their guns at Luffy. Zoro would just say, hey, sorry, but I can't allow this. Robin says, neither can I. As they use conquerors and knock out everyone in there. So yeah. And the Admirals were called, because I'm gonna say that there was like one noble that didn't get knocked out, and they actually called the Admirals. So Luffy is an Admiral level fighter, but he can't beat the Admirals. He can like stalemate with them. And then the Admiral, like, I'm gonna say some two Admirals arrive. Leaving kind of disappointed because Aokiji and actually this is a Kainu and Aokiji. No, actually Kainu and Kizaru. But this time Kuma arrived with the pacifistas, and the girl was like, the sumo slots just arrived. There's like, oh, this is what's it called? Okay. No one can send their hockey. He's like, damn it. And they're like, what's going on? He instantly tells Kid and Law to get off the island or help him fight. They're like, huh? Why? And he says, two admirals are here, along with Kuma. This one, Luffy remembers. Kuma's a member of the Revolutionary Army. And he says, actually, don't worry about Kuma. He's mine. And when he walks outside, he just sees a group of Marines. He says, damn it. As he yells, come down balloon, but he kills his body in hockey. The bullet bounce off him and go back into the crowd of the Marines. A lot of the Marines die, and that's when Zoro will just like jump from behind Luffy. And he's just gonna use like a regular onigiri infused with like just like the Black Blades hockey, and like just use cursed energy and just kill a good portion of the Marines. Rather than summon her giant fist and swat a lot of them away. That's when Usopp will actually just use Kabuto and you use 3 Firebird stars. You're gonna use those while the Marines are down. And the Marines are shocked at how fast they're going down. Now he's gonna use like her Thunderballs, and the Marines are down more. And he's gonna use his like the air burst, more Marines, and then it actually gets real when Brook arrives. He's gonna use his not slash again. So yeah, that happens, and all the strides use their ultimate moves except Sanji. He just uses regular kicks. He knows Diablo John basically soak too much energy for him to just use it on Mongolian Marines that aren't even captain level. So 99% of the Marines are taken out. That's when Law and Gil will say, man, leave the rest to us. As they just, use gold fruits and the rest of the Marines. All that's left is their, Commodore. And basically, it's just gonna rush at him, and then a Kainu will stop Luffy in his tracks. And since Akainu lost to Ace about, I'm gonna say a week ago, because it took him a week out of the Florian Triangle, Akainu healed faster, but you know he's still angry, and he trained for like. So okay, Akainu didn't train too much, but this is one of the hardest times he's ever trained. He's really gonna can't shoot with them. Now the 3 Admirals, they're above Yonko level, so they can actually take on 4 Yonko now. And this means Luffy's shit out of luck. Kuma will arrive, so Luffy will actually just say that. Dragon told Luffy that Kuma's the pacifista now, and there's an override code to it. We remember the override code. And it says, because of, I'm gonna say that upgrades, it does work, but it's gonna be a lot harder to get through to them. If you guys remember that, like, Luffy had a tattoo that says 3D2Y, that was to, like, remember the shots get back together in 2 years. That's the override code for Kuma. Kuma's gonna try to attack Luffy, that's when Luffy will yell, 3D2Y. Kuma's just gonna pause in his tracks. Then Kuma's just gonna get up and actually just smack Kizaru. And Kizaru's gonna dodge when he's fast. And try to kick Kuma. Kuma's fast as well, and he just punches Kizaru in the head. And says, oh, Luffy, good to see you again. And that's when all the pacifistas turn on Marines instead of like the Admirals. Not the Admirals. They don't turn on the Admirals. They turn on Marines, but they don't turn on Supernovas. They fight both. They still win and everything, but Kuma's fighting the Admirals with Luffy. That's when Law will actually intervene and slice off one of like Aokiji's limbs, but you know, using Devil Fruit. And that's when kids will actually just make that leg poof into air or light and just rebarrel it. So, Buggy Devil Fruits are the best. Actually, just supposed to kick out Law and almost blows up and kills Law. Law is kind of out of commission from that one. And that's when Kid will actually jump out like Kizaru and infuse his fist with armament and deck Kizaru. Rolls around. That's when we go with the sumo outfit just starts fighting Kid. And they're fighting on even terms right now. And that's when Kid actually just ends up losing the fight, but Zoro will slice the girl in half and say, alright, I win. And that's when Kid will say, now you see why this henchman is a supernova. Or the strongest supernova. So Lee is actually fighting Akainu now. One thing that he's kind of more hurt is he said, you know what, brother, you're asking the submission already? Kizaru, kind of just snaps and actually goes all out against Luffy. And he actually has to go gear second, not gear second, gear fourth Snake Man. And right now he's actually on a Yonko level. Yeah, on a Yonko level. Say that right now he's actually beat Kaido, so he's actually trying to go all out. Now he uses all 3 types of hockey together. Not 4, all 3 types of hockey together. And in their advanced state. He's using his red hockey and his normal advanced, like invisible hockey. So barrier and red hockey. And he's using his art observation to the max. The point where he can see into the future. He's using that and he ends up almost killing Akainu. Because one of his fists actually just punches off a good chunk of Akainu's face. Not like what Akainu did to Whitebeard. Sorry, it's just my neighbor being hella weird. So yeah, that happened, and the amount of pain that Akainu's feeling actually made him pass out since his face got punched off. So Akainu passes out in pain, and Kizaru gets back up and actually starts trying to attack Luffy. Zoro and Robin will actually intervene, then Brook will. And that was enough. Those 3 are enough to actually just overwhelm like Kizaru when they all use Conqueror's hockey at once, not knocking him out. So yeah. And Luffy and Kuma actually end up teaming up on Akainu in the middle of the fight, but Akainu actually like shot off one of like Kuma's arms, so Kuma just passed out as well. Strats win, and they don't go to their original trainers, but I'm gonna say that Luffy actually passes out, but then actually gets the news Ace when he wakes up. This time Ace was a little worn out from fighting Aokiji, and then she captured Sabo and Ace. When he wakes up like 2 days later and hears this. And because I like the Boa and Luffy dynamic, but you know, since Luffy has a harem, he's already done it with Robin and Nami. He wakes up and Boa is there. So he's there. They end up leaving to go towards, you know, Ace, Sabo. You know, the Marines are there first, and Luffy actually will hijack the Marine ship. He's gonna beat up, you know, Marines and everyone shit. And he tells Boa full speed ahead, and she goes full speed ahead. So Luffy has the scar a lot earlier than Marineford now. You want to say that a Kainu, there was something that Luffy while he was in his gear second shipman, and it made the X. He's okay right now because the law is trying to beat up still. You know, he almost got killed by Kizaru. They get to Marineford, and so that Jinbei broke out on his own. So Jinbei's kind of swimming towards Marineford. You can actually see Jinbei and actually grab him and throw him onto the ship. Everyone that was at room, that was the impel down. Everyone that was at impel down that came with Luffy broke out on their own. So they're actually pretty quick. So Jinbei, Ivankov, Sister Guy, Crocodile, they're all on the same ship, but it's a smaller one. People actually yell to them to get on the ship. They think it's Marines at first. That's when they see the straw hat. It's Luffy. Maybe it was just really one jump on because he knows who Luffy is. Crocodile will jump on because Luffy beat his ass. He's going to do it again. Yeah. Everyone jumps on. This one Luffy says, "Oh yeah, Ivan-sama. Nice to see you again." He's like, "Huh? Do I know you?" Then you recognize it's Luffy. This has been Luffy for a while though. Yeah. And they get to the Marineford. They see a lot of your chunks are already there. He says, "Alright, guys, we're late to the party." And then you start fighting everyone. So apparently in Kizaru, they got picked up by someone while they were, you know, all the people without like a light. So the whole tribe crew was actually at Marineford this time. Actually crashed down like they do in Cameron because Aokiji froze everything. They start fighting a lot harder. And now the Admirals, they're tons of times stronger because they trained for once. And as they're fighting, Lee actually just jumps and lands on Ace's platform. And Sengoku's wondering where Garp is. Garp actually come out of nowhere and take like Sengoku. And say, "Alright, Sengoku, sorry that you don't know this, but I became a pirate." And because he realizes the Marines are corrupt and some pirates are good. Like Whitebeard. He's actually not fighting Sengoku. Sengoku went Buddha. And Luffy beat up the two guys that are about to execute Ace. But Luffy unlocked, you know. And Ace and Sabo, they go down fighting. Into the, you know, Marines. And this one's at an Ace line, Sabo dies. I'm gonna say that. Sabo was able to see Ace hit through the heart, so kind of trying to go for a heat shot. And Sabo gets hit to the chest instead. Instead of Ace being, you know, the football, it's Sabo. I think Luffy actually loses control and actually jumps like towards Kainu, and just out of here, he felt his arm in like red hockey and rips the Kainu's head off. And he just yells and cries. Ace, I mean, he's a devil fruit again, but it's like the strongest awakening anyone's ever seen from a devil fruit. And Ace incinerates half the Marines there. Luffy and Homeho are able to avoid this, but they're still scared. They just saw Luffy rip the Admirals' head off. And Sabo's still alive, but barely. Whitebeard pirates come over to aid, and Marco is stronger in this one too, so he tries to heal Sabo whenever he can do left, but he heals a little bit of Sabo, but he can't just bring him back to life and heal that whole wound. You can make Sabo hang on to life a little bit longer. He's doing that the whole Marine War. Like he's sending Sabo when they're fighting anymore. Luffy and Ace are in like battle range, so they're kind of just fighting the Admirals. Ace is fighting Aokiji. Ace fighting Aokiji, and Luffy's fighting Kizaru. This here, second makes me battle rage, actually making Luffy move at Kizaru speed. So yeah, Luffy ends up actually kicking out like Kizaru so hard that Kizaru flies into a cannon and actually gets shot out of the cannon when he lands. then Luffy actually just uses that as like an assist and just punch Kizaru back. So Kizaru's down for the count, just there, Luffy knocking him out. This one Kobe and like this one seems like Kobe and Homo are fighting Zoro and Robin. And actually a lot stronger than Luffy. Mako Gilmock's like a bright yellow hockey. Oh, Kobe can use his pink hockey still. And Kobe's fighting instead of Robin it's Brook. Kobe's fighting Brook. Zoro's fighting Homo. And Homo is a lot stronger because this one instead of being trained by Garp, he's trained by Sengoku. And Sengoku was a lot harsh in training. So they're actually a lot stronger. And this time, Homo is actually going toe-to-toe with Zoro. Zoro, he doesn't know that Zoro is holding back. He only sees that Zoro is using Tetsu the Third and Shusui. Out of nowhere, Zoro actually slice up Homo's like I don't say noise. Zoro slices up Homo's swords or knives and just he doesn't want to kill Homo. He thinks of Homo like an acquaintance. But out of instinct and respect, he just knocks out Homo. There's a Mihawk over here, and Zoro fights Mihawk instead. Mihawk sees Zoro has one black blade. Zoro will actually just take out his second black blade. He's like, oh wow. And Zoro actually starts fighting Mihawk on equal terms, shocking everyone. Some people actually just like ambush Mihawk. No, not Mihawk. He's not gonna ambush Mihawk. He doesn't actually ambush the other, warlords, except Mihawk and Jinbei and Crocodile. He's not gonna ambush them, but actually ambushes the other admirals. And Dofi actually ends up interrupting the fight and tries to cut off Luffy's arm. He does get like a good decent sized cut out of it, but not enough to cut off Luffy's arm. And he's actually pushing Dofi because he's in battle rage still, and he's like knocking Dofi's around. So they don't know who Dofi is, Doflamingo. I think Dofi's a lot better to say. So, out of just fear, Doflamingo will use his, birdcage around Marineford, and this one might be joins the fight. He's gonna actually take down the giants, shanks, and greens now, and get them the birdcage. So yeah, they're all fighting, and Doflamingo's guys arrive too. So they're fighting them, and Sabaody's actually able to hang on the whole Marineford. And Kuma will arrive on Marineford now, because he had his arm patched up by, Dr. Vegapunk. When he sees Sabaody, he just ejects all the pain from Sabaody. So Sabaody can hang on the whole Marineford War now. Or he can actually hang on for a little longer than that, but he's still in very bad shape. So, yeah. And once you get towards the end of Marineford, most of the Marines that were at Marineford are dead. They're dead or can't even continue the fight because they're gonna lose. Zoro beat Mihawk and Zoro the head of the greatest swordsman in the world. Zoro is now the greatest swordsman in the world. There's no peace made with Mihawk. He's tied for number 1. Mihawk is number 1, but he's tied with Mihawk. Mihawk went all out against Zoro. Zoro went all out against Mihawk. Zoro almost killed Mihawk by using Brook's sword on New Theory. He almost sliced through Mihawk's blade, like his black blade, his big blade. But it was with Kuina's sword, and it's a lot smaller than normal swords, so it wasn't too effective. And Zoro was already drained from strength, so yeah. And Garp beat Sengoku. Gong, the old fleet admiral, ended up turning Marine, but actually beat Kong. Garp did not kill anyone. He still has the Marine respect and pride. So yeah, everyone leaves, and in this one, Ace didn't die. Sabaody was about to die, but he can hang on. And Sabaody is about to die, but can hang on for a little longer. Ace didn't die, but Whitebeard didn't die either. Shanks didn't die, Deckman didn't die. I'm gonna say Yasop died. Yasop ended up dying because, Kizaru. Luffy arrived in the middle of the war. And I'm gonna say that Yasop and Kizaru were fighting, and Yasop ended up being hit by one of the beams. Usopp saw that and was kind of just disappointed that he saw his dad die. Usopp passing that Yasop in this one. He stayed a little longer on the island before. Usopp has a better bond with his dad. This one was a little more heartbreaking. So yeah, Shanks takes care, and they're on the island where Whitebeard and Ace were buried, but this time Usopp was being buried, and like Usopp wasn't at death's door. That's been like 2 weeks later, and you know, Sabo was actually a part of Luffy, and Luffy and Sabo. Sabo was part of Luffy and Ace. And he's gonna give like his goggles and like top hat to Ace. He has a straw hat and everything. Ace will give Sabo his like pretty sure Ace like a cowboy like hat. Ace will give Sabo his cowboy hat if Sabo's dying, and then you know Sabo dies. Then Sabo's buried next to Yasop, and Ace couldn't bear to take the top hat with him, but he does like take off like the happy sad face off his cowboy hat and puts it on the Sabo's straw hat, puts it over Sabo's grave. And out of respect for Yasop, Usopp will take out like he's gonna put Kabuto on Yasop's grave and to build a whole new like gear to fight. And so when the Whitebeard Pirates actually retire, like they're like while Whitebeard's like, I'm too old to fight. Garp retires at the tradition of being a pirate, even though it wasn't too long. So they all retire, like all the pirates are involved except Shanks retire. And the Straw Hats, they don't retire either, but like Jinbei retires, Crocodile retires, he's just, you know, he's the old man. So yeah. Everyone except the Straw Hats and Shanks retire. And Ace doesn't retire either. He actually joins the Straw Hat Pirates. And this one, since, you know, he keeps the Spade Pirates. Right. The Straw Hats actually disperse for the year. For 2 years, and then they disperse. Mihawk goes on to train by himself back in a certain village, and he marries Kaya. I think this is the end of the world. It is not. They're getting back together in 2 years. But Usopp goes to Surf Village. Goes to Surf Village to train people and the kids. He trains the kids in sniping and swordsmanship. He's pretty much okay with that. So he's an alright swordsman. So Usopp goes back to Surf Village and he marries Kaya. And he sees that Kaya did marry Captain Kuro in her yard, since she did think of him as like family a little bit still. But he does train the kid in like sniping, swordsmanship, and hand-to-hand combat. He doesn't teach them hockey. He doesn't think they're ready for that. But yeah, Luffy goes back to the village he was raised at with Rayleigh and Shanks and Sabo. You can tell like he will walk into the city and no one tries to fight him. He goes straight to Sabo's parents and Sabo's brother. Sabo doesn't know he has an adopted brother. They wonder what he's doing there because I think he corrupted Sabo. That's when he tells them Sabo's dead. That actually breaks their hearts. They blame Luffy for this, and Sabo's dad doesn't hit Luffy. Luffy hits him, but it doesn't faze him. Luffy would just grab Sabo's dad and say, "You guys should have been better parents. Maybe he wouldn't have died today, or the other day." And he leaves their house. The Marines are there, and Luffy will knock them out and conquer Saki. He's not in the mood for a fight. He's still too sad. Zoro goes back to his dojo, and he's not going to train with Queen and sword for 2 years. He's just going to plant it on her grave. He's going to say, I'll come back for it when I'm ready. And his master is surprised that Zoro made Queen and sword a black blade. It actually made Queen and sword stronger than Mihawk's. And Zoro will train with Mihawk for 2 years. He's actually training with Dragon for these 2 years instead, like Shanks and Garp. He's training with Dragon. So the world's greatest criminal training Luffy. And Nami, she's gonna go back to her village. And her sister can be surprised, happy to see Nami. They don't know Nami down here. There's still her old captain with Nami holster, a few hundred million lower than her old one. He says, that's old news, that she just burns it. You think she was from being a pirate. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out her new gun holster. That amazes them, and every shot I got a bounty increase. So, Luffy has a bounty of 3 billion. Swordsman or Pirate Hunter Zoro, well, they now call him Marine Hunter Zoro, as he now has a bounty of 2.5 billion. And while they all got bounty increase from fighting Yonko level fighters or admirals, the kid he also punched a celestial dragon that gave him a bounty of 1.3 billion. He's okay with this. So while his bounty of 900 million, Robin has a bounty of, I'm gonna say, 1 billion. Nami gets a bounty of 500 million. Usopp gets a bounty of 800 million. Sanji gets a bounty of 1 billion. Chopper gets a bounty of 500 million. Brook gets a bounty of 1.2 billion. And Teach is dead, so there's no more Yonko. So, while Whitebeard did retire, Teach never became a Yonko since he's dead. So, Luffy filled Whitebeard's spot. And now there's still 5 Yonko again. Back to the strats. Frankie got a bounty of 600 million. Chopper 500 million. Frankie 600 million. All strats going back to their home. Like Frankie's going back to Water 7 and reformed it because he became the mayor. So yeah. Frankie family is more well known. And everything better. So those strats all have bounties over 500 million. So Luffy has the highest bounty in the Zoro has the highest bounty in Supernovas. But I'm gonna go with the strats again because I'm pretty sure I just forgot what I just said. Strat Luffy, 2.5 billion. Perona Zoro, 2.5 billion. Luffy has 2.5 Zoro. No, Luffy has 3.5 billion. Luffy 3.5 billion. Zoro 2.5 billion. Sanji has a 1.2 billion berry bounty. Robin has a 1.5 billion berry bounty. Sanji has 1.2. Robin has 1.5 billion. Usopp is 1 billion. And Frankie, he gets a 600 million berry bounty. Nami gets 500 million. Brook is 1 billion. Chopper 500 million. Yeah. So Luffy 3.5, Zoro 2.5, Sanji 2.2. No, Luffy 3.5. Luffy 3.5. Zero's 2.5. Sanji is 1.2. Robin is 1.5. Usopp is 1 billion. Brook is 1 billion. Chopper is 500 million. Nami is 500 million. Frankie's is Frankie is 600 million. Alright, they all go back to the house. Frankie goes back to Water 7 as a mayor. Frankie's a mayor in Water 7. Luffy, I'm gonna say he became the king of Boa Kingdom for a little bit. He's just the mayor of his village that he grew up in. And he expanded it. Nami, he's kind of like the mayor of her village. Zoro, he's mainly the Sensei as his village with Mihawk. So Robin, she actually is with Whitebeard for a little bit. Not like in a relationship. She's just keeping her around Roger for a little bit. And that's not it. Robin hangs out with Whitebeard for a little bit and his crew since they probably have some of the most knowledge in the world. Who else? Usopp married Kaya. And he trains people in hockey in his village. The kids he trained, or was trained pirates. Frankie's the mayor of Water 7. I just said that a while ago. Chopper is the best dog in the world now. Brook is the best musician in the world, and I'm down in a Soul King Brook. Yeah. All sorts of back where they're from. Except for Robin and Admirals go home too. She goes to, I guess, Whitebeard. Alright, that's the end of this video. I've repeated myself so much, it doesn't matter anymore. But, have a good day. Hope you guys like this.